What's going on, Jerome? So the Minnesota Vikings definitely still need a little bit of help along the defensive interior. A lot of people point out that's their only glaring weakness at this moment in time. Guys do have to step up, but you need to get back to having the meats. Mason Graham would be fantastic next year. Not saying, I'm just saying. But beyond having the meats, as I burp on this beautiful Tuesday, we got to get back to Vikemodium AD stopping the runs, and the Vikings added a guy who could help in a lot of respects, and former UFL star Jalen Redmond. Aaron Wilson's fantastic on transactions, by the way. Vikings to sign defensive tackle Jalen Redmond, Oklahoma football, Panthers, per a league source, So, Jalen Redmond, former Oklahoma Sooner, had a cup of coffee with the Carolina Panthers last year. He's an interesting guy, and in terms of upside, certainly has that, and of course Kwesi loves the "Mama, I can fix him, Mama, I can change him" type players, and Jalen Redmond certainly has a ton of potential, as he showed in the spring. So let's talk about Jalen Redmond today. Background: 25 years young, 6'2", 291, former 5-star recruit from Oklahoma City. Five-star. Took his talents a couple miles away to Norman, Oklahoma. Was a 3-year high-end contributor for the Sooners. Racked up 14 career sacks in Oklahoma. 11.9% pressure rate which for a defensive tackle is really, really damn good, man. Also a career 81.2 PFF grade versus the run. So even though slightly undersized, can get after it as a run defender as well as a pass rusher, which certainly has that upside. 2023 Combine, he was one of the Combine stars. I feel like a lot of people forget that. So, like I said, even though undersized, smallish arms, but great in the testing, 4'8", 140, great in agility, elite in the jumps, 9.68 RAS, and a lot of people thought that was going to vault him into day 3 contention, including Lance Zierlein, NFL.com. Draft projection, rounds 5 to 6. Overview: Redmond's NFL scouting combine testing was outstanding, as he displayed quickness and explosiveness that doesn't always show up on his college tape. He possesses plenty of toughness but moves on heavy feet. His lack of bend makes him a linear mover with limited playmaking potential. While he might not fill an NFL stat sheet, he does have the base strength for consideration as a rotational 4-3 nose tackle with some block-eating elements to his game. And he ended up going undrafted, but ended up in camp with the Carolina Panthers in 2023. Then 2024 signed up with the Arlington Renegades of the UFL and played pretty damn well. 18 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, 4.5 sacks. It was one of the standouts that is going to be signed by NFL teams today. His superlatives: nailed it. So undersized but athletic, lightning quick first step. But like Zierlein said, after that first step, little bit of a plotter. Solid overall power, good anchor for his size, adept at games up front, so stunts, twists, etc. Does need better hand usage, but that comes from coaching. Has a nose for finding the football once he does have that penetration. Also, positional versatility up front. Can play a little bit of pass rushing nose, can play a little bit of 3-tech, 4-tech, 5-tech, so that versatility is going to be beneficial for him coming over to the Vikings. And now looking at the defensive line. So, I mean, the Vikings have an interesting mix up here. So the only 2 guys that you could say for sure will have a role, Harrison Phillips, even though they had said they want to cut back on horrible hairy snaps. Jonathan Bullard is extremely solid against the run, but the Vikings need to add. There's a lot of J's on this team. You notice that? I just noticed that. Jonathan, Jerry, Jaquelin, James, Jihad, Jonah, Jalen. What the hell is going on? The hell is going on here, man? But hopefully, Jaquelin can contribute a little something in year 2. Then he got free agents like Jerry Tillery, Jihad Ward, Jonah Williams. Now bring in Jalen Redmond in his second year. James Lynch coming back from injury. Hopefully he can be in there. Levi Drake Rodriguez, LDR, senior sack, the 7th round pick, and the 2 UDFA. So there's a lot of guys that have talent and potential. So it's going to take a really strong training camp by some of these guys to rise up, because I mean, with the 3-4 base, I mean, a lot of times you are playing 3 down defensive linemen, so sometimes snaps can be a little bit limited. But the Vikings and Flores, they are flexible up front. They will run odd and even man fronts, so there will be snaps up front, and versatility will be key. And Redmond, I feel like Redmond can take his spring momentum where he succeeded against some professional level caliber offensive lines, and then he can just build upon that. So I'm actually pretty excited about this signing. I think that Redmond could do something, even though he's a little bit behind the 8 ball since he wasn't at OTAs, wasn't at minicamp with the Vikings. So he has to come in, learn the playbook, and then impress at training camp. But I think that he, given his strong spring, has a chance to springboard that into something else. Maybe he can push for the roster. Maybe he can push for the practice squad. But I think that there is a little something there in terms of a solid all-around defensive lineman in Jalen Redmond. But your thoughts are thoughts. Vikings add along the defensive line, bring in Jalen Redmond, UFL star. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.